Chapter 13. Past tense. Simple continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. The past tense is used to express an action that has already occurred in the past. Look at the table given here to understand the uses of various forms of the past tense in detail. Simple past tense. Used to indicate an action completed in the past. Example, Mother cooked food in the morning. Past continuous tense. Used to denote an action going on at some time in the past. Example, my brother was watching the match last evening. Past perfect tense. Describes an action completed before a certain point of time in the past before another action began. Example, they had finished their homework when their father returned from office. Simple past tense. Used to express a habitual or regular action in the past. Example, she went to office every morning. Past continuous tense. Used to describe situations or an action which has started at some time but had not ended at the time we were referring to. Example, she was baking cookies when the children came back. Past perfect tense. Describes an action completed before a certain moment in the past. Example, I had sent the parcel by courier last Sunday. Simple past tense. Used to narrate a story. Example, long ago there lived a mighty king. Past continuous tense. Used with always, continually, for persistent habits in the past. Example, she was always complaining about others. When we use the simple past tense, we often use words like generally, usually, always, often, sometimes, to express some past habit. To express past hope, intention or desire, we use forms of verbs like expect, hope, think, suppose, mean, want with the past perfect tense. The verb be is used in various forms of the past tense. Examples, it was a pleasant day yesterday. Form of be. They were playing basketball. Form of be. Read the following table to understand the various forms of be in the past tense. Positive, negative, interrogative. I was not. I wasn't. Was I? We were. We were not. We weren't. Were we? You were. Singular. You were not. You weren't. Were you? You all were. Plural. You all were not. You all weren't. Were you all? She was. She was not. She wasn't. Was she? He was. He was not. He wasn't. Was he? It was. It was not. It wasn't. Was it? They were. They were not. They weren't. Were they? Short forms of be are also often used. Examples, we were not. We weren't. I was not. I wasn't. They were not. They weren't. The verb have is also used in different forms according to the change in tenses. Read the passage given here. Sonam had left for her aunt's place in the morning. She always had a good sense of direction, so she reached there easily. Her aunt had prepared pasta for her. She had made a greeting card for her aunt. She had a big smile when she happily accepted the card and thanked Sonam. The words printed in bold are the past tense forms of the verb have. In positive statements, had is used in all persons. Examples: I had big bags. He had big bags. They had big bags. In negative sentences, had not or did not have is used. Examples: she had not left for Manali. They did not have any luggage. In interrogative sentences, had you or did you have is used. Examples: had you locked the door before you left? Did you have your breakfast in the morning? Short forms are also used. I had, I'd, I had not, I hadn't, or I'd not. The simple past, past continuous, and past perfect tenses use different forms of verbs in positive, negative, and interrogative sentences. Simple past, past continuous, past perfect, positive. Simple past tense of the verb with subject. Example: he ate a candy. Past continuous. Was, were, plus ing form of the verb. Example: he was eating a candy. Past perfect. Had plus past participle form of the verb. Example: he had eaten a candy. Negative. Simple past subject plus did not plus root form of the verb. Example: he did not eat a candy. Past continuous. Not is inserted after the first part of the verb. Example: he was not eating a candy. Past perfect. Not is inserted after the first part of the verb. Example: he had not eaten a candy. Interrogative. Simple past. Did plus subject plus root form of the verb. Example: did he eat a candy? Past continuous. The first part of the verb is put before the subject. Example: was he eating a candy? Past perfect. The first part of the verb is put before the subject. Example: had he eaten a candy? Short forms are also used. Did not, didn't, was not, wasn't, were not, weren't. Here are some more examples of negative and interrogative sentences. Examples: he was sick. He was not sick. Negative. Was he sick? Interrogative. She was buying vegetables. She was not buying vegetables. Negative. Was she buying vegetables? Interrogative. Kishu painted a portrait. Kishu did not paint a portrait. Negative. Did Kishu paint a portrait? Interrogative. Present perfect or simple past. Both the present perfect tense and the simple past tense indicate an action completed in the past. However, there is a clear difference between the two. The simple past tense expresses action that was completed in the past but is not connected with the present. Example: he lost his watch yesterday. There is no link with the present. The present perfect tense expresses an action that was completed in the past but is also connected with the present. Example: he has lost his watch. The action of losing the watch is linked with the present. He does not have a watch to use now. Simple present, present perfect. A past action linked with the present result of a past action. Simple present took place a long time ago. Present perfect took place a short time ago. Simple present, a time in the past. Present perfect, a time up to the present. We should not use any expression of time indicating past time with the present perfect tense. Examples: I have seen her. Present perfect tense. I saw her yesterday. Simple past. We should never write, I have seen her yesterday. Yesterday indicates past time and have seen expresses action in the present perfect tense. Past perfect continuous tense. It is used to indicate an action that occurred before a certain point of time in the past, had continued up to that moment, and was still in progress at that moment or had recently finished. The tense tells us about the continuity of an action that took longer than some other action in the past. Examples: the players had been playing for 3 hours when I reached the playground. Had been playing event 1. I reached event 2. It had been raining heavily for hours when the fisherman decided to change plans and return home. The form used for past perfect continuous tense is had plus been plus ing form of the verb. Example: the acrobats had been performing for 2 hours before the show got over. For negative sentences, we write had plus not plus been plus ing form of the verb. Example: the baby had not been sleeping for an hour when the dog barked and woke it up. Use of since and for. Since and for is generally used with perfect continuous tenses. Since is used to indicate a point of time at which an action started. It also indicates that the action continues till the present moment. Example: he had been swimming since 6 a.m. before he left the club for home. For is used to show the period of time for which an action has been going on. Example: the patients have been waiting for 2 hours. Use of used to. Used to suggests that something often happened in the past but does not happen any longer at present. Example: he used to teach my friend martial arts. This indicates that he taught martial arts in the past but does not do so now. Used to is never used to express an action in the present tense. Forms of used to. Positive, used to, plus root form of the verb in all persons. Example: she used to study in my school last year. Negative, used not to or never used to. Example: he never used to take his medicines on time. Interrogative, did, plus subject, plus used to, plus question. Example: did he used to read the newspaper regularly? Short answers are formed with did. Example, yes, he did.